All right, good afternoon. Welcome to video number 2 on using Claude 3.7 Sonnet to help me build a educational, let's call it typing website for kids. The idea here would be that we're going to use the different LLMs to try and help us create basic, very basic HTML games that could be embedded in a website. Um, I had tried different LLMs to get their responses in terms of what they could actually generate. What ended up happening is for ChatGPT and Gemini, it didn't actually generate code. A lot of it was just empty boilerplate. And then um, Claude was the one that actually gave me working HTML, even though it's not necessarily the greatest in terms of uh, the overall output, but we're going to work today to improve on that. We're going to look at this baseball typing game here that I had created based on what I had laid out, and then work to describe a number of different changes that need to be made to the game from its current iteration, and then we'll compare them against one another. I went through this last night with ChatGPT on a couple of its different models. And let me tell you, the results were just really disappointing. It gave me a lot of blank, unusable code, and I'll show you what that looks like here. In a moment, we can edit the website to show you their different versions. But then I thought before starting up today's stream, I'm actually going to ask the other LLMs as well to basically the exact same prompt. The basic code that I'd had that is currently what this game is here, and then the list of changes that I would like to be made to each of those, and we'll see how well they perform. So to give you an idea now, the idea for this was to essentially have the ball start here with the letter on it and have it go towards home plate here, and then the player gets chances to 3 chances to type in the correct letter, and then if they do, they get a hit based on it. And I'll show you here just kind of how this starts. So I have to type K. Well, if you notice, the ball is going over here to the side, not necessarily going from here to home plate. So it's like the location isn't right. I'm guessing this is supposed to be the pitcher area over here in the middle, but it's off to the side. And then if I type the wrong letter, you can see here I get more tries. So do it again. But then based on where I type it, when I hit it, it determines what the hit is. So I had defined that early on, but basically every time you get it correct in the first time, you end up hitting a grand slam instead of just a home run. So even though it says home run, my score went up by 4. And if you see here, there should be no runners on. I just hit another grand slam, right? Like it's not working the way that I intended for it to do. The idea here was that the score would be similar to a baseball score. So now they got a single. You can see the score went up by 1. And then the ball itself went into foul territory. So that wouldn't be a single if you're looking at this like from the perspective of actually playing. And then you'll notice here the field is not necessarily close to a baseball field. And so like I said, I opened this up to the LLMs to try and generate better versions of the game. And so I'll start here. This is the code that I had given it. I had done both the O3 Mini and then the new GPT 4.5 models just to try and see here. And you can see like it says O3 Mini High should be great at coding and logic, but I'll show you what we ended up with here in a moment. And then, like I said, the 4.5, it says it's good for writing and exploring ideas, so I wasn't too surprised with what it ended up giving back, but it wasn't great here. So if I come to home run typers and come in here to this section, and then I need to open up what it gave me. So this was the GPT 4.0 version here. And you can see here, like right away, the number of characters remaining to me is significantly less, like by 17,000. And then you can see here, this is what it would look like if I were to actually make the changes. So a letter's just up here. There's a strike, a score, and nothing else. There's literally nothing to the code here. So I was kind of shocked and disappointed with that. So I was like, okay, let me go to the GPT-3 or O3 model and just see, because it's supposed to be great at coding by their own claims and see what ends up happening. And you can see here, oh, here's an example usage of how it's doing, but this is supposed to be a game that plays in the browser. And you can see here, that's it. You just have a circle in the middle. That's all. So then, like I said, before I started here, I went ahead and got different LMs to generate. It's the exact same query for all of them. So I'll show you here. There are 7 things that I have laid out for the changes here, and we will see how each one here, you can see this is what Claude came up with. And let's see here for Gemini, let's just paste their code in and see how well this actually goes, because I'm afraid. Okay, so this looks basically the same as the other one. Here, I can't even see the start game, so do I need to change? How does this work? Does it start right away? No, it ran out of characters, didn't it? Yeah, it ran out of characters in the response. Like it just, it stopped. So it's not even a complete response. I'll just tell it the code seems to have stopped part way through its generation. Can you provide the remaining code? Okay, so let's see. That was up here. We're going to, what? It stopped. It ran out again. I don't know what the length is that is supposed to be here, but let's make a new file here, and we're just going to copy each of the pieces out. And maybe this is challenging for it because I'm using the Gemini UI, which I guess is a little bit different than, if you were using this via API, would be different. So we got this. And now if I select all, copy, let's just do this. So similar length to before, but this does not seem complete. This should probably go in more. We'll select it. Oops. It's 1,000. Like, where's that start button? Okay. So I can't ever actually start the game to run it. So that's no dice. Right, if I go to preview mode, start button's gone, so then anything I type here doesn't actually work. So that's not usable. Let's see. All right, DeepSeek, you're up. And let's go back to edit. Take this. Okay. There's nothing here, DeepSeek. So that was the original stuff we had earlier. That was their changes. So last but not least, let's take the code from Claude with your own updates and see how well it goes here. So, all right, the field's kind of weird. The ball's now in the middle. So, okay. So the ball's going and you have to hit it. And I hit a triple out of bounds. That's still okay. Okay, we did change a letter this time at least. So I think their rules need to change now based on the time. And I guess that's because the original description that I had said was basically if you got it right the first time, you hit a home run or a triple every now and then. So if I hit R, F, and then this, I still hit a home run no matter what. So I think it lost that logic. If I do, that's still a home run. A lot of the same letter a few different times. I'm trying intentionally to get it wrong, but you can see here, like home run, maybe I need to wait until it's almost there. I think I set it to be like 5 seconds. So, okay, it missed. It still hit a home run. So I think it lost the logic somewhere along the way. This is better than the others, but it's still not what we're looking for here. We can go back and look at the comments here, the prompt that we've given it. So I give it the previous HTML file from the original version of the game. And I said, you're my coding assistant and I need some help with HTML. So this will be hosted on GoDaddy using the website builder, which that's exactly where this is. So I'm just trying to provide it more context so that hopefully it doesn't give bad information. This file is a baseball typing game I made a prototype of. There's a few issues, and I laid those out. Can you fix the background so it looks like a baseball field? Well, DeepSeek gave me, what was it, like a green background now. ChatGPT didn't give me a background at all. Looking at the code here, we can break this down. One, it's extremely short. The background, it says, is to, I guess, download the file from Wikimedia. And I need to probably host that then on the website. So that way it knows to have the background. So, okay, that's fine. Game container, include ad space for Google AdSense. Okay. Here's the letters, the strikes. Pick a random letter. Start pitch. And it's supposed to start the pitch at the very beginning. But I don't see. Maybe it's because the baseball field image is missing that it's screwing with the rest of it, but this is not usable. The idea here is that they're supposed to provide the code, right? And then this was the O3 logic here. Again, instead of now specifying it, it's just supposed to be a file that I'm supposed to have on here. I guess this is adjusting numbers 2 and 6 from the list. Let's see. Okay, so start at the mound and then go out. Again, it's telling me to now make the adjustments based on the mound, but it should know that based on the picture. Again, here, like I asked it to be the coding assistant, and it tells me to put in the information here a number of times that it just does not really make a ton of sense for me to be doing this. And adjust the destination so the ball exits the field in fair territory. Again, it was supposed to do this for me. So essentially, it pointed out the places that it should be done, but it didn't actually do the work as the coding assistant, right? Here, example base positions. Okay, you're going to put them there? Sure, but then just put them there. Don't comment them out. So that way it shows. That's why we ended up with basically nothing on the page when it did it. So it put everything as a bunch of comments. Let's see. This one was the Google Gemini version. So we'll go through here. You know what? Let's use. Oh yeah, if I use this, I can't upload the file. That's why I had to use Gemini Flash 2.0. So even though this is supposed to have reasoning and multi-steps, it does not allow file uploads to to provide more context to it. And honestly, it seems like ChatGPT just ignored context that I given it, even though I had given it the original file. That these were all kind of disappointing. And then if we go here, let's read through DeepSeek's. So the game container itself, AdSense, find baseball field. There's no. Okay, so it did the ball animation like we saw. No, we didn't even see that. We didn't see it rendered at all. All we saw when this was in there was that when the thing runs, this is the Claude version right now, but the other version did not have anything there, and this is the original version here. There's supposed to be a runner there. Claude's version did have runners when we did the hits, but again, not great. Okay, so this is supposed to have pasted in the AdSense. Okay, that's fine. Base tracking, sure. Put an array there and then update it. Runner icons. All this seems fine, except there's no field here. Right, let me try this again and just double check because I didn't see a field when we had it on here. Let's go. Take that out. And it just grows. What's that? There's no basis. There's no. No player. Like, what am I supposed to know to type? So I hit A, S, what? Nothing. That doesn't. That ends up being. All these end up being worse than the original one. So I take this. Again, So this is one we had up before. Let's see what happens here. If I do NO, okay, I hit a triple, OR, triple, okay, me, again, why is the ball going backwards? So it seems like the more challenging version, it tied the distance that the balls hit to the challenge of the version here, and I can't even click the hard version. Why? So if I wanted a 3-letter word, it doesn't seem to have it there as an option. So we're missing some things, but you can see here, and this is kind of what I wanted to show today, just you'll see a lot of things around like vibe coding and stuff like that. But if you're actually trying to use these in the UI and you're wondering why you're not getting the same thing, you can see here what that is. And I don't know that it's going to be any different if I use it through the API or use one of the tools like Cursor or anything like that, what we would actually get in terms of the response. Let me, do I have, I do have GitHub Copilot on here. Let me, new chat, let's give it the file. Or maybe I have to open the file. So let's do this. File, open file, here in downloads. Got this. Open it. That's fine. Close that. Bring it back here. So I want you to focus on this file. And where is my prompt? And we're just gonna do the exact same thing. Oh. My kid was in here typing earlier. Well, it looks like that. We'll have to kick off again. So we're going to ask GitHub Copilot now, see if it can do the changes here. We're going to need to wait a minute for this to go through. Why did that crash? Let's see here. It's going great. We finally got to stably beating Brock before we died for whatever reason. All right, let's go here. This was we're kicking that back off. We'll worry about that later. GitHub Copilot here. Here we go. Let's copy the code. Let's go test it right away. Edit site. What's different here? Let's try. Preview. Start the game. T. Wow, that What? That's so it does show the ball being hit now, but the ball is not on the field when it happens. Oh boy, I hit another home run. I hit a single. Okay, we see a runner on the base now. And then that was a triple. So the wherever the ball is originating from is not lining up with what we have here. It's interesting. So if I hit I and I'm just going to smash the button over and over again, let's see what happens. So you can see like I hit it a number of times and my score just went straight up. So if I'm hitting you probably about 20, 25 times here. And so there's a edge case, I guess, is if the kid hits the button multiple times, well, they're going to get multiple runs. And it doesn't matter what the next thing's going to be. It's just going to run that check over and over and over again. So another edge case that we've hit along the way here of testing this, and we see here, so it did include two similar pages found. Okay. So here we go. And then the other thing is, right, it was supposed to have a container. So this is the mobile version. Do the same thing. Okay, so this is more responsive. If I do this where I try and mash the letter over and over again, you're going to see where's the ball? So I hit N, and we have that same behavior over and over and over again. So we have that edge case even in the mobile layout. Either way, it's less responsive than it was before. And just overall, I would say disappointing for the expectations and all the hype that you hear around the AI models here. Who is this? This was Gemini. Let's just file save as. We've got Gemini 2 baseball typing game. And I'm going to save versions of each of these and just put them up on GitHub just so you can see they're all generated using the same code. And none of them particularly working the way you would think or assume it would, especially given that you had the base version here. Oh, I have it here. Which is already functional, if not like it's not perfect by any stretch, but it should still be better than what you're seeing here. It's just disappointing. Like you can see this version. Okay, it's a good like rough draft version of what we've got here. And I'm just going to publish this to the site so that way it's not using one of the junkier versions. Like it did fine for a first pass, especially given like I would not have been able to come up with this on my own in JavaScript or HTML to do this. But I know it's wrong. Like it's not doing what it was I asked. And I don't think I laid out too much here in terms of what the changes were that we're expecting here, right? Can we fix the background so it looks like a baseball field? None of them did that. Can you make it so the ball flies into the field or out of the field through the air in fair territory in the case of the home run? Claude did not improve this. ChatGPT, we can't even test it to try. Gemini, kind of the same thing. When I load that code in, it doesn't work. Same thing for DeepSeek. So none of them particularly accomplished this. The only one that did was the GitHub Copilot one that we ran. Can you add icons for the runners on base? So we have to discount the ones that couldn't do it, but they were able to at least do this in the case where we could actually see it. So I guess give that to Claude and to Copilot in terms of the outcomes here. Fix the scoring. Yes, this was fixed in the versions that we saw, right? It was actually taking into account who's on the bases based on the hit and then scoring the points there. So, okay, it did that in the ones that we could run. Change the font to not be in cursive. That we saw was not an issue here on the site. Before these were in cursive typing and it looked god awful. So that's been fixed across the board. What else? Can you make the ball start where the pitcher would be and slowly move towards the players? The Claude version does that pretty well. The Copilot version, we cannot tell if that actually did it, and the other ones did not load. So that would be why. I think Gemini's did it. Yeah, Gemini's did it too. So we at least have that going for them. What else was the other one? Last thing here. Include a space for an unintrusive ad so I can cover my costs. It looks like when I load the HTML versions of the site, yeah, this is what you got. Okay, you got a small ad space here. Fine, great. It seems like when I put it into the site there, it is stripping that out. So I don't know why that's there. I do see in the code for these, like the AdSense bucket is there. Or that's not called a bucket. What is it? There you go, AdSense. So it seems like it should be there and working if I set things up correctly. So I'll assume that that's working. But if you look at them across the board, all in all, really, none of them were complete. I suppose if you can read through and pull pieces from each of them, you get there. Oh wait, no, none of them were able to fix the background to actually make it look like a baseball field there. So yeah, even if we pull these together, we gave them all 7 things to do, and it ended up. I'll have to pull this out individually and lay them out side by side, and we can take a look at them and see how we did. So I guess had I been better prepared for this, I would have taken them and put together, just a grid here. Which of these actually worked and which didn't? Because, like so, we went through these. None of them got the field part right, and then a few of them got better. So I'll pull that together. Like I said, I'll download all of these files and then put them up to GitHub, so you can see that, and I'll post that in the comments after this video goes back up onto YouTube. But all in all, this was disappointing exercise, to say the least. I think you'll see a lot of people claiming that you can go and change the world, and I feel like this is a simple enough task that it should not be out of the realm of possibility for the LLMs to do this. and it just did not get off the ground in any of these cases. You saw different versions of the bases here. If I, wait, that was the original file. Where is their version? Here. So if I go to their preview, you can see, okay, it's got add spaces here. That's fine. But again, where's your home plate? I guess you can have the player there. That's fine. The ball kind of starts here at the middle. Okay, that's fine. We did see that it actually goes through and works, but then again, when it hits the ball, it goes off over here, which is, foul, which is one of the key things that I laid out, and didn't accomplish those. So again, I would say I'm just kind of disappointed with what you see here, especially versus a lot of these grandiose claims. And I hope people find this and see that we didn't, I don't think we tried to trick it in any way, shape, or form. And we took a very basic version of it to do this. And I think what I'll do is I'll dig out the original prompts because I gave them each the same thing as well at the beginning. And you can see how each model did with the first iteration versus the second, and just trying to get there because none of these have been able to actually accomplish what we had set out to do. Like I said, it's overall been a little disappointing. Like I said, it's good. We got like a very rough version of the site out very quickly, and that was through Claude. The others had, again, provided a bunch of boilerplate code without actually being able to run anything. It's literally like, okay, here's your wrapper, put your code for the baseball game here, type of deal. And that's why I ended up doing the original one with Claude. And then you can see today, we gave each of them the chances to go ahead and kind of make up for the code now that you have a basis for it. And it wasn't really able to do it. I would say, I almost wonder if ChatGPT is actually reading in the code at all that was provided to it, because it didn't particularly change things here. And again, maybe if I have that background file, it all falls into place and actually works here for the baseball field, but I can't be certain. And it says to adjust these values to match up, I guess, with the picture that you're going to have on the background. So I can't be sure that this would actually do what I asked it to, even if I had that. But I laid out pretty clearly in the thing, like I'm using GoDaddy's website builder. Does not allow you to upload a file here through the base UI. So I don't have the option to upload that baseball field.jpg or whatever they had said in the background. So it doesn't, it's not actual functional, or not actually following the rules or restrictions that you placed on it. So what I'll do is, like I said, I'll pull all the outputs here and include them all in a GitHub repo. And then I'll also dig out the original questions that I had asked them to show just what we got originally, how we did on the second iteration. And then maybe next time we'll do like a version 3 of this game, detailing out most of them. Also put together like a little graph just to show who achieved what in these 7 things that were asked, and see if we can get it to be any better. So that's all for today. Like I said, I'll work on pulling these out and putting them together, and then I'll probably the next stream will be trying to improve upon that, and then I'll also see about if I can put out a video on this where we can show them side by side and just see how poor the performance has been on what I would consider a very basic task, especially for these that claim to be very proficient in terms of their coding. Because I would assume if you had any real CS classes, you should be able to pull this off, assuming you did something with JavaScript or HTML to do this. This I could easily see being a homework assignment for like an introductory class, and it being not being able to complete that, even though they're highly touted as like one of the best in terms of coding tasks, I really have to wonder how they're actually handling the evaluation of being able to complete coding tasks. So I'll do more refinement, like I said, in our next stream here, where we can go through and continue on just this baseball game. And then we have to work on the other games that we have as well. We have 7 very basic games. Not all of them operate ideally. They're, like I said, very basic getting out there. But each time we do a stream, we'll improve upon them as we go along. So the hope here is that I can get another stream together this weekend based on the activities I might be able to squeeze it in, where we'll go through for like another hour or so, like we did today. We'll give them the consolidated version of the game, and hopefully they can go from there. So, for those of you who are seeing this, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one.